Hey, this is Matt here with Steel and Stone. I'm going to give you an instructional on how to measure your openings, drywall trimmed for every single one of our doors except for pocket doors. This is a great example of one of our double doors. We just installed this into a drywalled opening. So I'm going to explain to you a little bit about where we measure and how we measure for these doors. The reason why we're doing this is because no drywalled or trimmed opening is ever square. Our doors are extremely square. And for your doors to swing correctly, we need to get the correct measurements and build it to the correct size. So you have the ability to shim it and square it in the opening. List of things you're gonna need: a ladder or step ladder, a trusty tape measure, and a pen or a pencil. First, we're going to measure the height, and we're gonna start with the left side, working our way to the right. I take 3 measurements, so left side, center, and right side. First off, how to measure the height. This is an easy trick to make sure that you get the exact measurement, especially with the rolls of the corner bead on the drywall. If you have trim, you can probably get a really good measurement just getting up on the ladder, but for this reason, we've got a pretty heavy roll on our corner bead. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by measuring down 2 feet. So I'm gonna put a mark at 24 inches, and then I'm going to take the measure, flip it upside down, and measure from the ground to that mark. So I've got 24 inches plus 71.5. So my total is 95.5 inches inside dimensions. I'm gonna do the same thing on the right side. Put a mark at 24 inches. Measure up to that mark. And it's almost exactly the same. It's about a 1/16 off. So it means that header is just out of level by about a 1/16 of an inch. That's a really great opening. How I measure the middle is I'm gonna take this exact same method, except for I'm going to fold the tape measure, set it in the middle, and make sure that my tape measure is level, and just double check that it's not off by too much. So this is a more difficult method to get an exact measurement, but sometimes that's all that we have. So especially in the middle with only airspace here, I'm going to check the measurement and mark it down. If it's something really close to the sides, I'm gonna go with that. So typically I'm going to measure and mark these marks for the height in the center of the opening, depending on the width of the actual depth of the wall. But for this purpose, I'm just marking it on the outside. So next we're going to measure the width. We're gonna do the same method. We're gonna check the bottom, middle, and top, and I'll show you how to do that right now. For measuring the width here, to start, I'm gonna measure just above the baseboard. I'm gonna keep the tape measure on the drywall itself, and we're gonna grab this measurement straight across, and it looks like this one ends up at about 61.25 inches. If you get your head level with the wall here, you'll get a more accurate measurement on that width. Next, we're gonna measure the middle of the opening. I'm gonna keep the tape level to the opening and measure across it in the middle, keeping my head level with the wall. That way I can get an accurate reading on that tape. This is where you're gonna need a step ladder or a mini ladder like me. Keep it on whichever side you prefer. And you're gonna pull tape from the same inside the opening all the way across and keep level with that wall there to make sure you get an accurate measurement. The more accurate the measurements you get, the tighter we can make the doors fit in the opening. If your opening isn't square, don't worry. We'll let you know if it's too out of square where it's gonna need a little bit more work, or if it's in tolerance to work for our doors. Once you finish measuring and submit those to us, we're gonna go ahead and do our own deductions, which will leave you with a small gap. Usually that's left because you wanna do some shimming and leveling of the doors inside the opening. Once you've got that to where you want it, this caulking line is all that's left. It gives you a nice, perfect finish. And that's how you measure a door opening. If you have any questions for us at all, please reach out to us at steelandstonellc.com.